Here we will see how to start to develop a Spring Boot application. So first of all, I will open my environment, that is Spring Toolsuite environment. Now I will open that STS environment. So the environment is my STS Spring Toolsuite. Now I will start. So what I will do, first of all, I will create a new project. So file, new, Spring Starter project. So for developing Spring Boot application, so file, new, Spring Starter project. Now I will click here. You see so many options coming to our picture that this is type is Maven. We are using Maven. So Maven, it is an automation tool. So especially for the Java web and enterprise application development. So here Java version is 7, package is jar file, language is Java, and name whatever I can give the name. Let it Spring Boot first example. Let Spring Boot first example, and this is the group ID. So it is unique ID to identify your application, your project structure. Let it suppose com.example, example, whatever you write. So artifact, this is my project name, description. Let it demo. Suppose my first, whatever I will write, my first Spring Boot example, my first Spring Boot example, and the package name, suppose, okay, so package name is com.silan. So package name is com.silan. Description, my first Spring Boot example. Artifact, that is my project name, that is Spring Boot first example. This is my group ID. Okay, so these are some informations that I have to fill. Then I will click on next button. So this is important. So here I will add some dependencies. Okay, so what are the dependencies that is requiring for my application development? Suppose I want to develop web application. So for that, so in search button, if you will write web, you see there are so many options coming to the picture. So I will select Spring Wave. That means Spring Wave a dependency that will add into my project structure. I will show you. So when project structure will create, so one file will automatically develop, that is pom.xml file. So this is the one of the advantage of Spring Boot. So before Spring Boot, whatever the dependencies requiring, so that was coming from Maven repository explicitly. But now, so once whatever the dependencies we are requiring, so here once we are selecting, then dependency is coming to our pom.xml file. So click on next option. So then click on finish button. So you see now my project structure is creating. It is taking some little bit time. So now my project created. So project name is Spring Boot first example. Just I will open. So you see, so src main Java, under this folder, my package whatever I had given, that is com.silan, and this is the default .java file, and I will explain what is this. First of all, we will see pom.xml file. So this is a such file, pom.xml file, which is containing dependencies. So we can say dependencies are helper component. So whatever we have the required dependencies, so here one dependencies I have added, that is spring wave. Okay, so in later on we will see. So as per the problem task, so the required dependencies we will add slowly. So I will show you, I will explain every uh, examples of spring boot. So now this is my pump.xml file, and you see, so this is my what main file. So this file is representing what the entire project is, a Spring Boot application. How? Now here you see one annotations at the red Spring Boot application. So this annotation is representing the entire project structure is a Spring Boot application. So this is one of the interview point, interview question for a beginner. So at the red Spring Boot application, this annotation is working of three annotations. This annotation is working of three annotations: at the red configuration, at the red enable auto configuration, at the red component scan. So at the red configuration, configuring for Java based configuration, this annotation, that annotation, uh, what we are using. At the rate enable auto configuration, one annotation, enabling automatically what configuring the Spring application based in, so along with jar. Component scan, at the rate component scan, enabling to what scanning all the packages and sub packages. That means all packages and sub packages will be auto scan which are under the root package. This is my root package com.silan, or this is my base package. So this annotation at the red Spring Boot application is working of three annotations: at the red configuration, at the red enable auto configuration, at the red component scan. Now, suppose I will create a controller. Let it, I will create a controller. So let it right click on this package. So new, I will create a class. So now this class is, suppose anything. Suppose I will write main controller. Let it, my class name is main controller. Then click on finish button. So you see one class I presented, and my objective is I want to represent it as controller. How? So I will specify at the red controller annotation. You see at the red controller, this annotation representing the corresponding class will be the controller is a component, so which is containing basically business logic. So here there is a red cross mark is coming, because so we have to import the package, this annotation corresponding package that we have to import. But here it is a good what facilities that Spring Boot is providing. You see there is no need to write any import statement. When I will bring my cursor, mouse cursor to this point, red color, a red color symbol, you see automatically that import statement is coming to the picture. So I will click. So here, so import statement. Okay, so there is no need to write import statement explicitly. So just simply you take your cursor to at the red controller, automatically that import statement is coming. So simply you click, then import statement. Suppose I will write a method, simply let it public. Suppose return type is string. So suppose one method I am defining, and return, suppose I will write Java mains Silan Software. Let it, suppose simply one method I define, simply. So method I defined, and so method return type is string. That's why I wrote a return statement that is a string value, that is Java means Silan Software. Now, so my objective is what I will what I will represent, or I will present as, or this application as web application. That means I will open a browser, and when in that browser, when I will enter URL, then I will get the output. So my objective is this show method definition, that is what is Java means Silan software. This message that I will get when I will open a browser and I will give the URL when I will enter. So this message will that I will get, that is Java means Silan software. How? So for that I have to use another annotation, request mapping, request mapping, request mapping. So request mapping annotation, so it will map, so it will map, so which thing, which particularly which thing it is mapping, and what is the purpose of, what is the purpose, what is the purpose of this annotation, what is the purpose of this annotation. So request mapping, so within bracket, suppose I will write, suppose one parameter I will pass, suppose let's slash test, let it slash test, and you see whatever the parameter I passed at the rate within what parenthesis. So if you want to specify a request URL, so when I will open a web browser and when I will enter URL, so that URL path and this, what are the parameter I will specify along with that URL, so that will map, that will map, so that is the purpose of at the rate request mapping, that is the purpose of at the request mapping. So this annotation, at the rate request mapping annotation, is to map web request on, so with some with the particular this method. So currently so method that we have, so wave request with method, that means, so when I will open web browser and I will put URL, that URL and this parameter slash test, if I will put right, then so method definition will execute, I will show you. So it is what needed, that we have to import because annotate at the rate request mapping annotation. So the corresponding package that we have to import, you see automatically it is coming when I will bring my cursor. So I will click. So then now another annotation I will use, at the rate response body. You see, then I have to import the corresponding package. So I imported the package. So at the rate response body, whatever the show method body, so that is Java main Silan software that I want to get as a response. Okay, so control S for saving. So this is my controller. So here main controller is my class name. This class acting as controller because this class is preceded by the annotation at the rate controller. At the rate controller representing main controller is a controller component. So what the controller component is containing, one business logic that I have written. So business logic is nothing but one method definition, that is show method definition, and show method definition preceded by the two annotation, at the rate request mapping and at the rate response body. So what is the purpose of at the rate request mapping? Whatever the URL, so when I will open a browser and whatever I will put the URL, so that URL so is mapped with this method. Okay, so when, so I will open that web browser and I will enter the URL, the show method definition body will execute what we will see as a response. Now I will save, control S. Okay, so now I will run. So this is my pom.xml file, and this is my main file. It is representing what whole project is a Spring Boot application. At the rate, what is the purpose of at the rate Spring Boot application annotate this annotation? So it is the, already I have explained the working of three annotations: at the rate configuration, at the rate enable auto configuration, and at the rate component scan. Now I will run. So here in this file, right click, run as. So run as Spring Boot app. So now I executed. So we will see. Okay, so happily, so it is executing because you see, Tomcat started on this. Tomcat started on with this path. Port number is 8080. So Apache Tomcat is embedded. So this is the one of the advantage in advanced Java. Explicitly Apache Tomcat we are configuring to the Eclipse environment. But here Apache Tomcat is embedded. So we are not bringing Apache Tomcat explicitly. We are not configuring Apache Tomcat explicitly. So this is the one of the advantage. So now I will open a browser. I will open a browser. Okay. So we saw the port number is 8080 localhost colon 8080 8080. Yes. Now you see, and I will hit enter. So something it is executing, but my our objective is what? So method definition will execute, but here, so method definition, how it will execute? So we have to pass this parameter. So now, so I will pass this parameter slash test. Now you see, enter. You see, we got Java means Silan software. So this is what mapping URL localhost colon 8080. So when I what specified slash test is the parameter, that is the parameter of request mapping. So as a result, this URL and the corresponding business logic, that is show method definition, it is mapped. So when that parameter I passed, the show method definition executed, and whatever the message Java means Silan software, so that message came as the response. So very simple. So this is my first Spring Boot application. Very simple, very simple. So first what I did, I created a Spring new starter project, file new Spring starter project. Then you give all the details, then click on next button, you add the dependencies, then click on finish. So one project structure is creating. Then simple things that I have done, simply under the base package I have defined a controller. Okay, then through a browser I got the output by entering URL. So guys, this is all about the first Spring Boot application. In my next video that I will show you another Spring Boot application, and particularly one dependency I will add, that is a Spring Dev tool. So we will see in my next video, we will see what is the magic of Spring Dev tools. Okay, so I hope everybody will enjoy with this video. Thank you.